For everybody that's just joining, welcome in. We're gonna get started in just a second. I'm gonna send out my shares so I can get my people notified that I'm on live. For anybody that is just joining me who does not know who I am, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I'm here to support you in understanding what is going on with how we consume as a society and why we're so sick as a society, and understanding how we need to shift our habits and shift the way that we think is healthy and what we do to ourselves and for ourselves to be healthy. And so today we're going to be talking about our mindset, and we're going to be going into the fact that our mindset, for a lot of us, is blocking our goals. A lot of us have goals for ourselves. A lot of us want to do things for ourselves, but we don't realize that the habits that we have and the mentality that we have is blocking us from these goals. And so our mindset is keeping us in this hold of being sick, being unhealthy, not taking care of ourselves. And it's all because we view a healthy lifestyle as something that is negative. We view a healthy lifestyle is diet culture, not realizing that diet culture does not support us. And diet culture not only does not support us, but it also makes us worse off than when we started. Because if you look at people who do Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, they do all of these different calorie counting systems, dietary restrictions. They do these things like Whole30, they do keto, because literally a new study just came out that keto is causing issues and causing health problems with people. I don't remember exactly what health problem it is, but if I think about it, it'll come to me randomly. I'll mention it. But we have to understand that this diet culture does not support us in being healthy, and it starts with our mindset. And so we're going to be going over our mindset and talking about our mind and how it is keeping us from the goals that we want to achieve. And so, if you were just now joining in, because there's a lot of people coming in, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist, and I'm here to support you and to help you understand how to take care of your body and get back to your natural design of healing. And healing starts with you understanding how to allow your body to get back to healing, because your body is a healing vessel. So if it's not healing, that means that there's something blocking it. And a lot of us are blocking our healing with our mindset to start, and then our actions follow. And so you have to understand that every unconscious thought that you have starts with what starts in your subconscious, and your conscious thoughts negate your subconscious. So if you have consciously told yourself, I can't do this, I don't like diets, I don't want to do this, you've said this out loud to yourself, you've now consciously reinforced your subconscious. And so you have to understand that now your subconscious is affecting your actions, and it's going to be like that until you change your conscious and subconscious thoughts. And so we have to realize that this is literally blocking the growth that we want. This is blocking the goals that we want. We want a healthier lifestyle for ourselves, and we're blocking that because we're sitting here viewing a lifestyle change is a diet culture, a momentary thing, something that's going to be off, something that's going to be awful to go through. You're going to hate it, but not realizing that this is going to support you. You're going to feel better, and you're going to sit there and reinforce the positive about it, about the fact that you're taking care of your body. And since you're taking care of your body, you're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to be healing internally, and that's going to allow you to be doing the things that you want to do laid on into your life in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s. But majority of society, the way that we're consuming, we're not even going to make it to our 50s and 60s. We're not even going to make it past our 40s. And you have to understand that, because literally all of the evidence is there. And so I don't want to skip ahead and like get too far ahead of myself, but you can look and you can see how society is and how unhealthy we are. Because I was doing some study and some research today that literally from 2020 all the way until now, until last year, they did a study on mental health, and mental health has increased to over, I think it was 18 to 34. 50% of people, 50% of 18 to 34-year-olds are dealing with some kind of mental illness. And then from 35 all the way up until I think 44 was the study limit. They were saying how the fact that they went from being in the category of I think 25 to 30 all the way up to 45 to 50. And so you have to look at that and realize that that mental illness, and they even said it in the article, is not only linked to the fact that we are sitting here struggling because we're so stressed out and our mindset is off from 2020 and our mindset is off, but it's also linked to chronic illness and disease. And so when you look at that and you make that connection and you see that our mental illness is high and chronic illnesses are high, as well as the fact that we are malnourished. So we're sitting here on antidepressants. We're sitting here, cancer is rampant in our society. People are suffering from diabetes. Sitting here unaliving earlier and earlier. There's so many different women coming out talking about their PCOS and their fibroids and their cyst journeys, and how their doctors are telling them to take prescriptions for it. They're telling them to take birth control for it. And you see and you realize all of this is connected, and they are making us ill, and we're not helping ourselves because our mindset is thrown off, because we are literally malnourished and imbalanced. And that imbalance starts with what we are doing to ourselves with our food. But you have to get to the space of being mentally clear and being mentally aware of what you're doing to yourself, because you are literally blocking your goal for yourself. If you want to be healthy, if you don't want to leave this earth earlier, if you don't want cancer, if you don't want diabetes, if you want to heal from having fibroids and cysts, you want to heal your diabetes, it starts with your mindset. So if you're sitting here, oh, I don't want to go on a diet. Oh, that's so sucky. I can't eat for 3 days if I do a fast. Oh, I can't do this. I can't go to McDonald's. I can't eat my favorite fast food restaurant anymore. You're not going to heal. You're not going to support yourself in healing, and you're going to stay blocked. And that block looks like you developing inflammation. That block looks like you being sick. That block looks like you sitting here developing chronic diseases. You sitting here being anxious and depressed. You being on all these prescriptions, having to take chemo later on because you developed cancer. Or even worse, leaving this earth earlier than what you're designed to. And so you have to release that block and that hold that it has on you. And that starts with you changing your mind, changing your mindset, and change your lifestyle. And it starts with you embracing the fact that you can have change for yourself. And if you want that change for yourself, to seek how to educate yourself on making that change. And that whether it's you educating yourself through you doing research, like I did, I've been doing research since 2020, literally while we were locked down in the house. That's what I was doing. I was doing research. Or you coming and working with me, because you don't have to sit there and do all this research by yourself. Rather, I can support you and I can help you get into the space and get into the mentality. And so that's what it's going to be about today, is just us talking about how we can change and shift ourselves and our lifestyle, but it starts with our mindset. And whatever goal that we want to achieve, it all starts with our mindset. And so let's talk about the pessimistic mindset and its effects. So what is a pessimistic mindset? If you were somebody who is a pessimist, you are believing and reiterating the negative into your life. So you're one of those people that sits there and is like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm fat. It sucks. Just dreadful. Nobody really wants to be around that energy. So a pessimist is somebody who truly cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. You cannot see the glass is a half full. You always see it as half empty. You always see that the grass is greener on the other side, and you never feel like you are reaping any positivity in your life. You're one of those people that's always sitting there like, oh, woe is me. The world is against me. Why does it always have to be me? Why is it always me? One of those people that feels like that life is picking on them, rather than realizing the fact that their choices have led them to this space. And so you have to think about that and realize the fact that that negative mindset that you have also affects your reality, and also affects the habit patterns that you have. So when you are a negative Nancy, like we know a negative Nancy, and you sit here and you keep being negative, you are going to reap negative benefits. You are going to be sitting here, it's always me. You're going to be sitting here experiencing that. You're going to feel attacked. You're going to never be able to meet your goals, because your goal is something that's positive, but you are negative. Your energy is negative. And so you have to understand that whatever energy you are emitting and putting out, that's what you're going to get back. And so looking at that, a lot of people around society are pessimistic. A lot of people in society do not believe their body can heal. A lot of people believe that a diagnosis of an illness or a disease is a life sentence. And so they put that negative connotation on it that they use in everything in their life. And they sit there and say, well, I can't eat fruits. I can't eat fruits and vegetables. I can't do raw diet. I can't do that. That's not going to help me heal. How is that supposed to give you protein? How is that supposed to give you calcium? I can't get B12. You can't get all these things without eggs and meat. A whole bunch of can'ts, I won't, I can't, I won't. Instead of realizing the fact that you are literally using negative vocabulary around something that is possible. because I'm sitting here in front of you 3.5 years into a plant-based lifestyle, have not had meat, have not had eggs, have not had dairy, and I'm not malnourished. I'm healthy as can be, and I'm healthier than I was when I was consuming meat, dairy, and eggs. And I had a potential client that was talking to me today that was talking about the fact that her family is jumping on her about the fact that they don't understand why she's vegan, and they don't understand why she just won't eat eggs and eat meat because she's lacking in B12, and I think she said iron. And so she was talking to her doctor, and they were saying that that's the only way that she can get B12, and that's the only way that she can get the proper iron. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's funny, because for somebody who was iron deficient before they went into this lifestyle, how is that the only way that you can get the iron that you need is from meat, and you can only get B12 from eggs and meat? Like, I don't understand that. If I'm sitting here in front of you as an example, as a healthy being who has all of these things, all the nutrients that I need, and I'm not lacking. And so that is just me reiterating to her that you are not on the wrong path, and do not let their negativity shift you, because her family said this, not the doctor was the one that was jumping on her, but her family was jumping on her. Doctor was just telling her deficiencies. And so I was sitting there and reiterating and explaining to her, at the end of the day, no matter what your lifestyle is versus theirs, if it's different, why does their opinion really tailor and matter to you if you are taking care of your body and being healthy? And that's the question that everybody needs to ask, because people love to say all the time the fact that they don't want to, feel like a burden to their family. They don't want to be different than everybody else. They don't want to have to skip out on meals with their family and all these things. But you do realize, one, you can still eat out with your family, because I do. Like, I might not eat what they eat, but I eat out with my family. And if we're having a family gathering, I bring my own food, or I buy my own food and bring it with me. And there are many ways for you to get around the situation without you having to eat what they eat. And then when they have questions or concerns, or they have their input that is not necessary, why do you have to take their word as bond? The same way that you go to the doctor, they give you a diagnosis for an illness or a disease. Why do you take that and just think that's a life sentence? Why do you take that as the end all be all? Did God come down from heaven and tell you that you were going to be stuck with this for the rest of your life? Did he come to you in a parable or a message and tell you this is the way your life is going to be? No. So why are you taking another human being's advice or information higher than the God himself? Because he did not tell you that. What it does tell you, though, and it's been proven, because it's literally possible, because people are doing it every single day, that your body is a healing mechanism, and it can heal itself if you're doing the right thing that it needs to be done. And so you have to understand that we have been believing in a false narrative because we're so negative and we're so imbalanced. We're imbalanced with our habits, we're imbalanced with our thoughts. And that's the reason why since 2020, there are so many people that are coming out saying that they have developed a mental illness since then. There are over 50% of people that between 18 to 34 have gone up, and it's gone up from I think it was at 30 originally, now it's at 50%. They're sitting there at 50% and more people have mental illness. And there's a reason. Look at how we are consuming, because the majority of people weren't sitting there at home working out. I was. Majority of people weren't sitting there at home taking care of themselves, eating correctly. I was attempting to. I was getting to the space of where I am now. So I was working my way up. But a lot of people gained weight. A lot of people were sedentary that majority of that time. A lot of people were feeding into the programming, watching TV all day, drinking Sprite, sitting here eating their hot chips, hot Takis, sitting here eating ramen all day, eating junk all day long. And you have to realize that affects your health. That affects you. That makes you sick. It makes you ill. And that's not just with you getting a common cold. Mentally, it makes you ill because you're malnourished and you're feeding your body a bunch of junk that has toxic additives in it, toxic ingredients that literally make you sick on the inside. Because if you do not know, toxins store inside of your fat cells. So when you have toxic ingredients storing inside of your fat cells, they are literally holding on to you because your body has no way to expel it. It doesn't know what to do with it. So it holds on to it. You don't work out. You don't release fat normally. You don't even get enough exercise in for you to be able to sweat on a regular basis. You go out and eat McDonald's, Burger King, and you pile up on top of the snacks that you eat on a regular basis. you have to realize that your habits are consistently unhealthy, consistently bringing a negative impact on your body. And you are literally keeping yourself from the goal that you want, to stay away from cancer, to stay away from being ill, to stay away from the doctor. Whatever your goal is for yourself, far as you being healthy, you are literally keeping yourself from that because you have negative habits and you have a negative mindset around eating correctly. And so we have to sit here and realize that, like, we are literally bringing the worst outcome on ourselves because we are choosing to be negative. We are choosing the negative side effects. We are choosing a lifestyle of being unhealthy. And that is the negative impact, the negative fallout. And you can see that all over society. Look at the world. There are 1.9 billion people on this earth that are sitting here overweight. There are 650 million people that are sitting here obese. 650 million. And there is not 650 million people that are just choosing to be obese. There's 650 million people that, that don't know how to take care of their body. There's 650 million people that do not understand that toxins store up inside of their fat cells. And so it's literally building on. And so as we sit here and you learn this information, what are you going to do to shift and change? Because regardless if you want to lose weight or you want to gain weight, you should have a healthy weight balance of releasing toxins, not putting your body in a stress, fight or flight state, and to realize that majority of society is stressed out because of how we are consuming. Majority of society is stressed out because of the lack of nourishment that we have. And so since we're so stressed out, our mindset is so negative, we don't even realize it anymore. We don't even realize it. You sit there and you go out and you're talking like a dog about everybody else, but then you go home and do the same to yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, you're so fat. You sit there and you talk to yourself and you be like, girl, you're so stupid. Like, you don't realize that all of those things are negative, and you're a pessimist from your subconscious, and it consciously comes out and you don't even realize it anymore. And so you have to look at it and realize the fact that, like, society is riddled with these people. They're riddled with these people and don't even realize it. And so I am here to support you and to help you to get out of this space, because that is my goal for you, to realize that the mindset has to change in order for your actions to change. And I am hosting an amazing masterclass that is on June 23rd that is going to support you in getting in that space. So for the people that are on here, you are going to know and you're going to want to tap into the fact that I'm also giving away a couple of freebies with this masterclass if you buy into this masterclass. The masterclass is 111, and you can buy it with the Firm or Klarna or at the Afterpay. I don't know which. I know I have Klarna. I think it's either a Firm or it's Afterpay, but I have two. So you don't have any excuse for you to be like, I can't afford it right now. You do payment plans for everything else. You buy a whole bunch of clothes from Shein you have no business buying. You buy a whole bunch of stuff that you have no business buying. Walmart is doing Afterpay now. Like, you have all of these things that you keep buying all this junk for, but you don't buy and invest back into your health. So 111 is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And so that 111 masterclass is going to be you understanding. It is the acronym L.I.F.E. It's going to be you understanding how to live live intentionally and flow energetically. Excuse me. So you're living intentionally and you're flowing energetically, and that is our acronym for the night. And I'm going to show you how to remove yourself from that pessimistic mindset and to move into your optimism, so that you can support yourself in not only getting into the optimistic mindset so you can use that in your whole life to change your lifestyle, but to also get to the mindset of being able to shift to get to a space of taking care of your body and wanting to take care of your body, starting with the food that you are consuming. Because a lot of us do not realize that how stressed out we are, and our habits reflect how stressed out we are. Look at how you eat. Look where you go and you eat. Instead of sitting down and making a meal plan for yourself, starting and sitting down and realizing the fact that you've been eating crap all your life, and you need to start taking care of your body, because these doctors they're overworked. They're not going to be as accessible as you think they are when you get older. And so you have to sit here and take a moment, a mental inventory. How are you going to take care of yourself if you don't have a doctor? How are you going to take care of yourself if you don't have a prescription? How are you going to take care of yourself if you can't afford chemo? How are you going to take care of yourself if your insurance decides to drop you because they say that they no longer cover what you have? What are you going to do? You have to sit here and realize that none of this is guaranteed. There is no security when it comes to this health insurance, this health care. There is no security when it comes to your doctor coming to work every single day. There's no security in us not locking down again, because they already told you, like, you see what happened. It went from them telling us it was in another country, we were perfectly fine, to within a month, they literally not only said they had been in our country, but it was in our country so bad that we had to lock down within a week of them telling us. And so you sit here and you think that you have some kind of security in this, in just in the US alone, in this world, and you don't even trust the Most High when he tells you the fact that your body is a healing vessel and you can heal, because you don't know scripture, you don't even know the word. And so at least train yourself to realize the fact that, because I mean, I feel like everybody knows this verse, you might not know exactly what it is, but in Romans 12 it talks about daily renewing your mind, how you should not be conformed to this world, but you should be daily renewing your mind. So many people take the news as bond. They listen to the news and don't realize the fact that the news is literally, if you flip through all the channels, they're saying the same thing, and there's a reason why, because they're paid. It's paid programming. All of that TV is paid programming. And so when you look at that and you see the fact that this paid programming is keeping you in a negative space, in a negative light, you'll sit there and you'll realize the fact that, like, this all is an agenda. It's an agenda to keep you focused on the wrong thing. And the wrong thing is you focusing on everything else. You're worried about animals' rights. You're worried about all these other communities' rights. Like, I don't even care, because people love this, like, saying this as a black woman, and I'm just gonna say this, I'm not gonna really get into it, but like, people love to come in and be like, Black Lives Matter. I don't care about any other organization. We're all people at the end of the day. No matter what color we are all people. The problem is the fact that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. That's the issue that we need to get band together. We need to be, I don't care, meat eater or not. Do you know how to take care of your body? Do you know how to release and reset? Do you know how you're consuming, and are you inflamed on the inside? Do you know how to release toxins? Do you know how to take care of yourself when you get sick without medications? Like, these are things that are real actual problems. Not saying that these other things are not problems, but we have to realize that as a society, as a whole, as a person, we have one equal problem, which is the fact that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We like to separate ourselves and put ourselves into these little itty bitty box categories of all of these organizations and issues and problems and all of these things. Realize the fact that first, as a whole, as a society, we don't know how to take care of ourselves. Period. Point blank, period. We want to sit here and advocate, especially these vegans out here, because like I said, I'm plant-based. These people like to advocate for animals and the environment and everything else. And yes, we have to take care of Mother Nature as we take care of ourselves, but we don't know how to take care of ourselves. So how are we going to start with anything else? How do you love an animal more than yourself, and you don't know how to take care of yourself, but you can take care of an animal? You can tell somebody else how to take care of themselves. The same thing with these people who eat meat. They love to come to me and tell me that I'm not getting enough protein. How do you know you're getting enough protein? You don't even take care of yourself. How do you know you're taking care of your body, and you're going to tell me how to take care of mine? Like, make it make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. We're worried about the wrong thing. What we need to worry about is getting back to the basics and knowing how to take care of ourselves with food, with fruits and vegetables, knowing how to take care of ourselves when we get sick, knowing how to take care of ourselves when we're inflamed, knowing how to release diseases, learning how to heal yourself without taking chemo and radiation, because it's possible. But people do not understand that. And as soon as you bring up the fact that they can take care of themselves and heal themselves naturally, holistically, they're automatically thinking you're a witch and you take herbs. Like, yes, I take herbs. No, I'm not a witch. And I don't even suggest that right off the bat. What I suggest for you to do is to eat fruits and vegetables. What I suggest for you to do is learn how to fast correctly. What I suggest for you to do is to learn that just because your doctor tells you you should be doing something and that you have a disease does not mean that you have to take that word as bond and go take that prescription for the rest of your life. That's what we need to get out of the space of thinking. We need to start changing how we view ourselves and how we view our health. And so that is what this masterclass is going to do for you. It's going to get you out of the space of thinking that everything is negative, you can't eat any food, all food is poison, everything is poison, and realize the fact that no, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The grass is green where you are. It's not green on the other side. The grass is green where you are. You just have to take off this little color correcting lens that you have that's making everything gray and dull and make it bright again by using your real actual eyes that God has given you and not the ones that society has put over you for a lens. And so we have to realize that our daily thoughts are keeping us captive, and they're holding us captive to the point where we are literally keeping ourselves away from the goals that we want for ourselves. If it's to be healthier, if it's to live a plant-based lifestyle, if it's for you to stay away from disease and illness, if it's for you to feel better so you can be vibrant and energetic, for you to stop drinking coffee, for you to be able to wake up and just feel good in the morning, whatever it is, the point is that you want to be healthier. And the point is, you're going to have to make a shift and a change, and that starts with your mind. But if you're not ready to start changing your mindset, if you're not ready to start shifting the thought patterns that you have, it's like a gnat or something. If you're not ready to change the thought patterns that you have, this masterclass is not going to help you get ready in that space. What this masterclass is for the people who are ready to change their mindset. They just don't know how to get to that space. Don't understand how they've been programmed. They don't understand where to get to the mentality of changing. They don't know how. This is the how for you, because I've been telling you what you need to do and why you need to do it. This is how you're going to do it for yourself, so you can get into that space of taking care of yourself. This is giving you the mental foundation so that you can subconsciously make the choices and consciously take the action for you to change, because we all need to make a change, and including me. Like, I'm doing a cleanse right now. I'm not saying I am perfect. What I am saying is the fact that I know how to release and reset myself. That is my reset right now. Like, as you can see, my skin has broken out, and that's a whole different issue. But the fact that it's like, I've been doing this cleanse for a couple of days, and these popped up after the fact, so I know I still have more cleansing to do. And so I know this because I'm aware, and I'm consciously aware, and I know how to take actions to releasing and resetting and supporting my body through this process. But a lot of people just take as skin rashes, acne, all these things is something that they need to put a chemical onto. They need to go get a clean and clear cleanser. They need to go out and go get a dermatologist and all these things. Not saying you shouldn't go to the doctor and get your skin looked at, but you're doing dermaplating, you're doing all of these chemical peels, you're doing all of this crap to your skin and your face and all of these other unnecessary treatments, not realizing the fact that you go out and you eat McDonald's at least once or twice a week. You eat fried foods at least every other day. You sit here and eat inflammatory sugar in and out all day, every day. You never had a natural juice in your life. You drink juicy juice. You drink Simply Truth lemonade. You drink, I'm not Simply Truth, what is it, Simply Lemonade. You drink all of this other crap, Minute Maid, and you've never had a natural form juice that comes from an actual cold pressed juicer in your life, and you think that you're healthy because you work out. You think that you're healthy because you restrict the crap that you eat. Not realizing that maybe you throw a salad in there, but not realizing the fact that there is no moderation when it comes to consuming crap like McDonald's, Burger King. You sitting here eating this inflammatory meat. You sitting here eating this crap like Lucky Charms, Takis. You're sitting here eating hot Cheetos. You're sitting here eating regular Cheetos, Oreos. You're eating all of this junk. There is no moderation with our society, because you look at the package of Oreos, they give you 5 whole rolls, and each roll has like freaking 30 Oreos on it. I don't know how many, but the point is the fact that it's like you eat a whole roll in one setting watching a movie, and then you look back and be like, man, I shouldn't have did that. And now you're sitting here in the bathroom the next day because your stomach is hurting, and now your gut is off, and it's throwing you off with your skin, because now your skin is showing the fact that you ate too much sugar. Your gut is imbalanced, and you're sitting there trying to digest all that crap. Your digestive system is suffering, so now you're sitting here on the bathroom. And it's all because you sat there and believe that you consume in moderation, not questioning the fact that, this has titanium dioxide in it. What is titanium dioxide? Getting on your little phone and Googling it and seeing what it is, and looking more than just it's saying that it's safe for you, but rather looking and seeing that it's a man-made ingredient that is not only a coloring agent, but it's something to preserve your food, and that it does not release and leave your body, that it's toxic to your body because it doesn't get released on its own. And so now you're sitting here eating a whole bunch of titanium dioxide because you still have 3 or 4 other rolls of Oreos to eat. And so you have to sit here and realize that, like, there is no moderation with this crap. There isn't. There isn't. Like, we don't even eat the serving sizes that are on these things. Like, your serving size for your Oreos is like 4 cookies. And like I said, you're eating the whole roll. A serving size for cereal is like this much, but you're eating a whole bowl of cereal. So you're sitting here eating the whole thing of, you go through the whole thing of Lucky Charms within 3 or 4 bowls. And that's not the serving size. And I'm not speaking from just like me just harping on everybody and just crapping on your parade. I used to be there. I used to be one of those people. And so I have shifted my lifestyle. I have shifted my habits so that I'm no longer there anymore. And so I want to help everybody that is having issues when it comes to their mindset around food. If you are having issues with regulating yourself when it comes to food, because I was an overconsumer. I still have issues and have to stop myself and to realize the fact that, like, even if it's not crappy food, I still used to overconsume. And so I have to be consciously aware of my overconsumption, because when I was eating crappy food, like, it was the chemical imbalances, and like I'm getting away from those chemical imbalances, and I'm getting way better at stopping myself from realizing that I'm overeating. But you have to realize that these foods with these additives, these toxic fillers, literally throw off your chemical imbalance to make you eat and crave more and not realize when you're full. And that's fact for facts. There is literally tons of studies that talk about the fact that these companies do studies so that they make you consume more, make you crave the foods, and not be consciously aware of you being full. It throws you off. And so since it's throwing you off your natural chemical balance, you are imbalanced and you need to start healing, and you have to shift into healing. But that starts with you becoming aware and taking action to make a change. What are you going to do to make a change for yourself? Are you going to sit here and educate yourself like I have since 2020? Are you going to sit here and do research and make sure that you're implementing changes into yourself? Make sure that you're prepared for the trial and error, because it comes. The hardships, the stumbling blocks, they come. Or are you ready to buy into some strategies that are going to support you in doing this easily, and that are going to support you in getting into that space, and that are going to support you in not having to have all those stumbling blocks, because I've been there, and working with me because I've been there, and working with me because I can teach you and give you the POV of what it was like for me to transition without any help, without anybody in my lifestyle doing this for myself, and how I'm here 3.5 years later and will not be going back, and knows all of this information, and not be overwhelmed, because I was overwhelmed at first. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, I was overwhelmed. Like, when I say overwhelmed, like, it went from me getting down one rabbit hole to the other, and I still do this, but like having 30,000 tabs open about food and GMOs and everything else. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And at one point I just closed them all, and I sat there and I said, you know what can I do? And I was in the same space that a lot of people are. It's like all food is poison, just like that little trending sound that went around on TikTok for the longest of all food is poison. I had that mentality of, what is there really to eat? And then I started to honestly get back into scripture. Like, it really was that, because I was so mentally unstable at the time. I was so stressed out. I was just now getting out of college. And so like, it was really like hitting me the fact that like how stressed I was in college, and like how my mindset was so thrown off from going through all of the programs that they have going on in college and everything else, and all the programming that they do to you. And so I was sitting there and I got back into my scripture, and I was sitting there reading, and started to realize the fact that like, they're pushing GMOs on everybody. They've been throwing GMOs at us since the early 90s. We're supposed to be eating seeded fruit, yet they make genetically modified fruit that does not have any seeds, and they tell us to go consume it and make it easily accessible. And then I started looking about the fact that they started doing all the GMO animals in 2019, and how they were doing studies and tests and everything else. And then we know, as of what was it, 2023, if not 2022, they started us allowing us to have human consumption when it comes to GMO animals. And so from me knowing what I knew all the way in 2020 till now, and doing all of that research and sticking with it and on it, and like I said, the Most High has blessed me with just being able to keep this knowledge and to hold on to it and to use it and to share it with you. I realized very quickly that I was like, there's an agenda. And I realized that before they even started the human consumption law. So I started doing more research, and that's when I got back into the fact that, like, learning about meat, learning about what they've been doing to our meat, learning about the dairy industry and how they deceived us, learning about these things that they're doing to our food. And so once I got to the space of like, wow, we've been tricked, especially with the Got Milk campaign, because that's what really got me. The fact that that whole thing was just a campaign and marketing. It was no benefit to the consumer whatsoever. They started paying all these dairy industry farmers all of these incentives and giving them all of this money. And then because they told them, like, oh, they told them at first, excuse me, they didn't give them the money yet. They told them that they were going to have all these incentives, all this money to keep making milk, keep producing, because they need easy, accessible powder milk for the people that are at war. When the people came back from war and nobody needed powdered milk anymore, because what are you going to do with powdered milk? They started to realize that they had been scammed. And not only had they been scammed, but what are they going to do to get their money back? Because, milk goes bad, milk goes rancid. And so then they started to have it to implement different ways to start getting regular people to start consuming dairy, because at the time nobody was consuming cow milk like that. Nobody was consuming cow milk. It was very rare that you were consuming cow milk, and at the time milk was unpasteurized. So it was very rare that people were really consuming cow milk like that. People weren't consuming cow milk. That's what people have fed into the programming to believe, because they have all these old shows that show you that they were really consuming cow milk out here. They were really just drinking that cow's milk like that. And even if they actually were consuming cow milk, you realize it was unpasteurized. It wasn't sitting here with how it looks now, all pretty and white. It was pus filled, blood filled. Like, it's literally another animal's breast milk. And so you sit here and you believe this programming, and you feed into it, and you believe that you have to have dairy for calcium, you have to have milk for calcium, that you're supposed to be drinking 2 servings of milk at least a day, because you're supposed to eat it with 2 meals a day, according to our what is it, My Plate Health, and our my food pyramid. They have programmed us to poison ourselves, and they had keep reiterating, and generationally have sat there and poisoned us. And I was looking at this TikTok, and it was cracking me up, because they were talking about how the fact that millennials are literally losing their mind because the dairy industry is going out of service. And the reason why is because we're now getting into like oat milks, almond milks, and all these other alternative milks, and how they're not really milks. And that they're telling us that we need to stop questioning, or not, basically stop questioning everything, and stop sitting here questioning what works, but rather we need to start doing what they did and all this stuff. But you look at their generation, you look at the past generation before them, and you see the fact that, like, their parents, they lived a long time, but they were unhealthy and sick, and they were diseased early on. The millennials that are still here and they're still thriving and kicking, quote unquote, they're sick, they're ill, they're mentally not stable, they have not grown, there is no balance with the things that they have going on. And I'm not saying that that is every single millennial out there, I'm not saying that it's everyone before them, but what I'm saying is that majority of them fit in that box, and you can see that by observing. And so when you see that and you observe and you realize the fact that all of these generations are passing down unhealthy habits, these negative habits, where are we going to draw the line, and when are we going to stop? When are we going to stop passing down these terrible habits to children? When are we going to stop telling children that they need dairy to be healthy, even though it's causing them inflammation? When are we going to stop sitting here telling these kids that they can't sit here and only eat fruits and vegetables, because that's not true? When are we going to stop forcing people to sit here and poison themselves because you're sitting here saying that, oh, it tastes good. It tastes so good for you to sit here and eat this Oreo. You're sitting here eating these hot chips. You're sitting here eating all of this crap when it comes to, like, I'm trying to think of what I used to love, Pop Tarts. Let's say Pop Tarts. And you never look at the ingredients. You don't know how to read the ingredients, but you want to tell a child how to be healthy. You want to have children and tell them how to be healthy. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me. I would love for you to make it make sense. But then you also have all the questions in the world when somebody tells you that they're vegan or they're plant-based. Now you're sitting here, you're the nutritionist specialist. Now you're sitting here like, how do you get dairy? I mean, how do you get protein without dairy? I mean, wait, how do you get protein without meat? How do you get calcium without dairy? How are you if getting your iron, your B12? How are you sitting here getting all of your magnesium and things that you need? Are you getting it? Like, that's the question that I have for you. Are you getting it? You're so consciously aware of what I'm consuming, or the lack thereof. Are you getting those things for yourself? Are you consciously aware of how much you get every day? Because I am. You're worried about me, but you shouldn't be. You should be worried about yourself, because my body is healing. My body is healthy. I go to the doctor and the dentist and everything else, and they ask me all the time, what am I doing? I look amazing, especially from when I came in before, when I was living the lifestyle I was before. Like, I switched dentists, so I don't even know what my dentist would have said if I would have stuck with this lifestyle. I mean, would have changed my lifestyle if I was stuck with them. But my doctor, for instance, she retired, but like my doctor was asking me like what I was doing to lose weight, and I didn't tell her at the time. I didn't know she was gonna retire, but I didn't tell her at the time. I just told her like, oh, I was just taking care of myself. And so, like, I have shifted my lifestyle. I've shifted my weight. I have shifted my vibrance, my energy. I don't drink coffee. I used to drink coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore. I'm so energetic to the point where, like, I have to tire myself out every single day, because it's like I get to the point where I lay in the bed and I will be up until 3 a.m. and I'll still be like, girl, you need to go to sleep, because I have energy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with my energy. And so people have to understand the fact that, like, our negative mindset around what we're doing for ourselves is making us sick. And so you're sitting here worried about me and what I'm consuming and how I'm consuming, but you're not realizing that you're literally making yourself sick. So it's like, why are you worried about me if you can't even take care of yourself? and you think that you're following these food pyramids, these my plates and everything else, and you're taking care of yourself, I'm if you don't want to change, I can't help you. But if you are ready for a change, and if you're ready for a shift, and you actually know that there's something wrong with what you're consuming, and you know there's something wrong with what society tells you is normal, then come work with me. I got you. I definitely got you. Because we have to understand that, like, the negative mindset that we have is literally impacting our subconsciously and consciously. And I've already said that, but I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, your beliefs come from your conscious and your subconscious thoughts. So if you sit here and believe that this lifestyle is not going to support you, you sit there and believe that you're not going to get enough protein, you're going to be deficient in your vitamins and your minerals, you're going to be sitting here suffering, you're going to hate the lifestyle, you're going to be sitting here not being able to eat your snacks, you're going to be sitting here suffering, that this lifestyle is just going to be such a crappy lifestyle because you have diet mentality around it. That's what you're going to have, and you're not going to stick with it. That's the mindset you're going to have, and you're not going to stick with it. You're going to be sitting here doing diet culture of doing it for a week or two, doing it for a month, and then you're going to flip back to your old habits. And what are you going to do? You're either going to, if you lost weight, you're going to gain it all back and then plus some, or you're going to feel worse than what you did when you started. And so you have to realize the fact that, like, your conscious and your subconscious, it shapes your perception, your reality. And so if you want a reality of you being healthy, you have to shift your conscious. You have to shift your subconscious. You have to shift the way that you think about eating healthy, being on diet culture, whatever it is that you believe right now is supporting you, keto, paleo, whatever else, because literally there are so many studies that have just come out that keto and paleo are making you sick. So you have to stop and realize the fact that, like, the cycle of negativity that you have is keeping you a pessimist and it's keeping you sick. And so it's time for you to change. And if you are ready for a change, you need to be in that masterclass that I'm having on the 23rd, because it's going to support you in shifting your mindset to get into the space so that you can have the healthy foundation mentally, so that you can get to the space of setting the foundation physically, so that you can take the actions for you to become plant-based, develop healthier habits, and support yourself in shifting your lifestyle to be healthier. Because a lot of us are sitting here with a negative perception of self, a negative perception of reality. And since we have that negative perception of ourselves, you do realize that that literally tailors to how you act and how you, I'm trying to think, how you consume. For instance, how I talked about the fact that, like, I used to overconsume, and, like, I would overconsume and I didn't really realize that, like, that was tailored to the fact that, like, I would overconsume because of the lack of I'm trying to think of what the word is, because I don't want to say insecurity, but the lack of security that I had, rather, because it wasn't necessarily insecurity, because I know that I'm cute, but it was the security of it was the insecurity at the fact that I knew that I was overweight. And so since that I knew that I was overweight and I had a lack of security when it came to me taking care of myself and being nutrient wait, I can say that, I can't think of the word, and being nutrient deficient. No, I don't like that word. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Getting all the nutrients that I need. I can't think of the word that I was thinking of, but I couldn't figure out how to take care of my body the way that it needed to be, because I was believing in diet culture. I was doing everything that they were telling me to do, and it was not working for me. And so once I was doing all of those things and, like, realized that, like, I was literally poisoning myself, I was making myself sick, I was not supporting my body, I was literally sitting here struggling. I realized the fact that, like, my perception of self was off. And since my perception of self was off, how am I going to shift it? Was my thought. That was what my thought was, because I was sitting here with anxiety. I was sitting here in and out of depression episodes. I had asthma. I was sitting here overweight, weight fluctuating. I was going from 200 plus, sitting here going down to 190, going back up to 200 plus, could never go under 190 until I was doing 2 sports at a time, doing a calorie restricting diet. And then on top of that, like, that calorie counting and restricting was making me suffer so much, and I hated it the entire time. And as soon as I got off of that, did it for 6 whole months, literally gained all the weight back and some within a month. I was so sad after that. It made me go into a depression episode once again, made me sad, and then made me sit there and think to myself, this will never happen for me. I will never be able to lose the weight. Like, I'm just going to be a big circle for the rest of my life. Like, that was the mindset that I had, that it was just like everybody else in my family, it's kind of like, for women wise, like, one side of my family, they're pretty small, pretty skinny. The other side, that we're kind of big circles. So I was like, I just guess I'm just going to be part of the big circles. And so that was my mindset. And that was literally my mindset. Like, I was just like, if that's how it has to be, then, like, why keep sitting here doing diet culture that is not going to keep me in a healthy space? if I'm gonna be a big circle either which way, like I might as well just be the big circle. And so here I am sitting here like just thinking that this is how it's going to be, and my actions reflected that. And then we hit 2020 and I had limited time, limitless time sitting at home. I was working out every single day at 10 o'clock, was sitting at home, going outside, taking a walk every now and then because I needed to be outside, sitting at home, not restricting, but switching out the things that I was eating and stopped buying so much crap because I knew if I had the crap in my house, I was going to eat it. And so I started to focus on rather getting real whole meals, started to focus on different meals for me to eat. I wasn't plant-based yet, but I started to shift my habits. And so once I started to change my habits and I got my mindset around the fact that like I can take care of myself, and I've been taught to take care of myself wrong, that's when my mentality changed. That's what led me to going plant-based. That's what led me to realizing that diet culture, my plates, food pyramids, all of that crap has been taught to us to make us not know how to take care of our body and to make us sick and to make us ill. And since all of these things have been taught to us to make us sick and to make us ill, it is time for me, now that I have mastered plant-based, I'm here. I literally can help you with anything, any questions that you have. I can help you with anything when it has to do with becoming plant-based and going plant-based. It is now my time to share with you what I do and the strategies that I do and how you can do it for yourself, because this truly is a healing lifestyle. It's not a dietary culture. It's not a momentary thing. It's not something that is going to 1 minute help you, next minute you're going to be fluctuating, next minute you're going to be unhealthy, you're going to go back to the doctor, they're going to tell you to try another lifestyle. But rather, this is something that is truly going to support you for the rest of your life, and habits that you need to pass down to your future generations, your children, your nieces, your nephews, whoever, because we lead by example. You can tell a child all day long they need to eat fruits and vegetables. You can tell a child all day long that they shouldn't be drinking juicy juice. You can tell a child all day long that they need X, Y, and Z. But if you are sitting there looking at a plate of Brussels sprouts and you make a yucky face and you're sitting there like, I don't want to eat this, that tastes like grass, what is the child going to do? And we all know, because the children sit there and you don't have to say anything, but you act the same way. You sit there and you say, oh, you act just like your daddy. Oh, you act just like your mama. Where do they get that from? Because you don't even have to say anything for them to do that. It's your actions. It's your attitude. It's the energy you put into it. Because for instance, my family, I have a niece and a nephew that is plant-based. My nephew has not been that way all his life. My niece has. And you can tell the difference because their mother was not plant-based when she had her son. And so when he came out, he was eating chicken. He was trying different fruits because she's always loved fruits, but he was never heavy on vegetables. And so now she's trying to get him into eating avocados. And we all love avocados. And so he doesn't know how to react to tell us that he just tells us he doesn't like avocados. But when we try to dive into it, because I tried to get him to talk about it, I asked him, I said, why do you not like avocados? Is it the taste? Is it the texture? Like, I'm asking him questions. He's 5 years old and he's very, very articulate. So like, these are not questions that are above his age. Like, he can answer all these questions because he's done it for everything else. He loves spicy foods. Like, he will tell you exactly how he likes his chickpeas. He'll tell you he likes it any kind of way. He likes it spicy, he likes it sugary, he likes it all kinds of ways. So like, he can explain things very in depth. And so when he's sitting there trying to explain how he doesn't like avocados, he doesn't know how to do it because nobody in his life is sitting there going, I just don't like this. This is just gross. Because he can't just sit there and be like a child and whine and complain about it. Because he knows there's nothing wrong with avocados. It's just maybe he doesn't like the texture. Maybe he just doesn't know how to put the connotation of what the problem is. And so when you're sitting there talking to him, in a way, it's funny because it's like he's not shutting down, but he just sits there and he just stares at it. He goes, I just don't like it. Like, I just don't like it. And that's a valid answer. But you can tell that it's not programming. It's his actual thought. It's not somebody else telling him like, I just don't like that green stuff. It looks like poop. Because I know that I saw, I think it was T-Pain that said that if anybody that eats avocados is like green poop. And I was like, sir, that's how you know you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, because avocados are delicious. And it's like, all you have to do is season it. And so like, through him not being programmed into not liking something, it's amazing to see the aftermath, basically, of seeing the fact that like he's able to form an opinion. And like he's been to the space where he's eaten meat, he's been to the space where he's gotten sick plenty of times from eating meat, he's gotten sick plenty of times from somebody sitting there trying to slide him dairy, telling his mother that he needs it. And so now here he is as a 5-year-old, more educated than majority of these adults out here, and can tell you and can sit here and tell you to your face, I cannot eat that, it will make me sick, and it's also making you sick, and you really shouldn't eat it either. And then he'll list to you why it makes you sick at 5 years old. And that's all because he had the proper mindset instilled in him, the proper habits instilled in him. He wasn't programmed to sit here and not know how to take care of his body. He wasn't programmed to sit here and not eat fruits and vegetables. He wasn't programmed to sit here and eat McDonald's and Burger King and everything else. And it's so funny because he even watched a commercial and was stuck on the commercial for McDonald's for the longest. But his mom was sitting there and she said to him, like, where did you hear that from? Like, did you go to McDonald's? Because she was worried. She was like, somebody done gave my baby McDonald's. And he said, no, I just saw the commercials. He said, I know I can't eat that. And so it was just like the fact that like all she had to do was ask him a question and he already knew. He was like, I know I can't eat that. He was like, I just like the commercial because they have Happy Meals. And so it was the fact that we were like, well, you know what our Happy Meals are? And he was like, yeah, our Happy Meals are. And he started listing off fruits and vegetables. And so it's like, it's literally programming. Like, y'all have to get into the mindset of shifting from that negative mindset of thinking that McDonald's is a Happy Meal, that the crap that you were eating is a Happy Meal. And rather realize that Happy Meals are the things that are taking care of your body. Happy Meals are the healthy foods that are going to support you in healing. Happy Meals are things that are going to keep you from being inflamed, keeping you from diseases, keeping you from cancer. That's a Happy Meal. That's what keeps me happy. And that's the meal that I want to partake in. And that's not just me, my personal opinion. That is literally scripture, that it talks about the fact that I don't remember what verse it is, but it talks about that better a plate of vegetables where love is rather than a fatted calf with hatred. And you cannot tell me that meat that you were getting from McDonald's was made with love. You cannot tell me that plate that you got from McDonald's was made with love. You can't tell me you going to Popeyes was made from love. You can't tell me you going to any chain, fast food, or restaurant that the food that you are consuming is made with love. Because we all know what they look like when you go to fast food and restaurants. They're overworked, underpaid, tired, and don't want to be there. And unless you are a heavy tipper and you come there often, more likely than not, they're not even coming with the energy that you need. There are some very nice servers, because I've met plenty of nice servers in my life, but still, they're not the ones that are back there cooking your food. They're not the ones that are putting energy into your food. And you have to realize that that negative energy that they're throwing all over your plates, throwing your food in there, frying it in a bunch of crap. Some people even spit and lick on your food, drop it on the floor. You're getting all of that negative energy, and you're sitting there and it's on your plate and you're consuming and you're eating that negativity. And then you're wondering why you're stressed out. You're wondering why you're sick. You're wondering why you're inflamed. You wonder why your mental health is off. You wonder why you're sitting here in and out of depression episodes. It's because you eat negativity. Not only are you negative yourself with your actions and your habits and your mindset, but now you're sitting there consuming negativity with your food. And so it's time for us to make an impact and take action towards our health and to shift it. And that starts with us. Stop procrastinating your health. Stop putting it on the back burner and shift your health to be bettering yourself, and stop missing out on the opportunity of you being healthy now. Because at the end of the day, you're sitting there thinking you're going to change your habits at 30. You're going to change your habits at 40. You're going to change your habits at 50. You're going to wait till you get a diagnosis. And now you're going to be all health guru, eat salads every day, drink your fresh juice, and all this other stuff. Not realizing the fact that, like, no, you're not. First of all, no, you're not. Because if you wanted to do it, you would have been doing it now. Second of all, your taste buds are not going to magically change overnight. You are training your taste buds to crave the crap, and you're continuously doing it. So if you, let's say now you are 30, you have been doing for 30 years, training your body, and you're sitting there expecting to change your taste buds in the way you consume by 40 and 50. That doesn't even make any sense. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it doesn't make any sense. that you're gonna wait and then assume that when you're older you're gonna change your food habits, or worse, get forced to have to change your food habits because you're ill now. Be forced to sit here and no longer be able to consume the things that you love to eat because you are sick. Because there are plenty of people that are now being told by their doctors that they can no longer consume meat and dairy, that they have to go to a vegan diet. But these doctors are not telling them that vegan is not going to support them the way plant-based is, because everybody thinks that vegan and plant-based are the same thing, not realizing the fact that these vegan products have inflammatory soy, all types of soybean oil, soy lectin, all of these soy products in it, have all these additives and fillers in them, have processed sugars, things that are not supporting you and that are making you sick. And the behaviors that you have are bringing that negativity in your life. And it's time for you to shift and to make the health conscious choices that you need to move out of the pessimistic mindset, because you're stressing your body out. You're stressing me out talking about it, and you're stressing your body out. So you're literally suffering physically. You have to understand that stress stores inside of your body. Like, let's get into that. Stress stores inside of your body. So the actions that you have that are negative, that are pessimistic, that are keeping you sick and making you ill, they're not only stressing you out internally, but also externally. And internally, that stress looks like your internal organs are aging more than what you are. So you right now, currently, I'm 25. Let's say you're 25. I'm 25. You could be 25 right now, and your internal organs could be 35. They could be 45. They could be 55, because these coroners that are cutting these bodies open and are doing their autopsies, they're observing these bodies and things, they are noticing a pattern that these people, these young people at that, their organs are internally aged 3 times than their actual age. And so you look at that and you see, where does that come from? Why? Because they're internally stressed. Their hypertension is high. Their cortisol is super high, which is a stress hormone. They're sitting there with a weakened immune system. They're sitting here with their serotonin and their dopamine levels low, all because they're malnourished, they're stressed out, they're anxious, they're depressed, and they're not taking care of their body, so they're inflamed. And so you have to realize that we are doing it to ourselves. And it's evident all around our society. It's not a propaganda, it's not an agenda, it's not a what is it called, conspiracy theory. The evidence is right in front of you. You don't even have to look at any statistics. Go outside and count 10 people, and out of those 10 people, because there's 650 million people suffering from obesity, how many of those people are in shape and not overweight, and how many of those people know how to take care of their body correctly? I guarantee you there's probably only one or two out of 10 people. You can count 10 people. I guarantee there's only one or two people that actually know how to take care of their body correctly. And that's a shame. That's a shame. If there's even one. Because out of those 10 people, you're also looking at them and they're probably still consuming dairy. They might be vegetarian, they might be whatever. And so you have to realize that, like, our consequences have actions. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm going to get to. Our consequences have actions. And so when you are stressed out all of these years and you're sitting here and, like I said, your internal organs age. We all know what stress looks like on the external. It ages you externally. You look sick, you look ill, but you're also not realizing the fact that you are sitting here making yourself anxious and depressed, because a lot of these people are on antidepressants. They're on these anxiety medications and they don't know how to take care of themselves, and it's all because they're malnourished. They're believing in the facade that they can take a prescription and it'll make them feel better. They're believing in the facade that you get diagnosed with something and that's something that you have to stick with the rest of your life. And then they're also not realizing the fact that, like, your food habits link to your mental health. Your gut links to your brain. Your gut balance, if it's off, your brain is off. And since those two are not stable in majority of society, that's the reason why so many people are mentally unstable. They're literally sitting around, walking around here crazy. And you sit here and you look and you're wondering why everybody around this earth is crazy, why all these people are acting crazy, why all these people can't get themselves together because everybody's acting crazy. Look at their food habits. Look at how we consume. Look at what we're suggested to consume. Look at how the fact that Kellogg's literally told people that if they cannot afford dinner, they should go out and buy a family-sized box of their cereal and eat that for dinner. In what world is that even a meal? Like, And I'm gonna say this for somebody on on everything, for somebody who used to eat cereal in the morning and then would go out and get a snack like an hour after they eat cereal, because you know cereal does not fill you up. And then, like I said, majority of society doesn't even know what a portion size of cereal, a serving size, is. And so I'm one of those people that, and I can speak from my experience, that would eat cereal as a meal in the AM to break my fast, would eat cereal and then go out and eat something else because cereal would not fill me up. Hey, how are you? And so you have to sit here and realize the fact that these people are literally telling you to make yourself malnourished and sick and ill and mentally unstable. These people are telling you, hey, you can't afford food right now. So what you need to do is do not eat real food. That's what you need to do. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. That's what they're telling you. Instead of you sitting here realizing the fact that, you should have fresh vegetation outside, you're like, okay, let me just go out and get something that is not real food, but it's something to fill my stomach, because food is fuel. Food is something that supports your body and being healthy and being nourished. But if you are sitting here consuming all of this crap all the time and not knowing how to take care of your body, you are malnourished. You are making yourself sick. You're making yourself ill, and you are leading yourself to literally being mentally unstable, one of these crazy people out here. And since you're so stressed out from your habits, you do realize that the stress is making you in fight or flight mode. And majority of us, because I'm gonna say us because I was once there, are literally in fight or flight mode and have been that way for years. I can say from when my lifestyle, I was in fight or flight mode from probably a young teen. Like, I was in fight or flight mode 13 or 14. Like, fight or fight mode. As soon as I started my cycle, fight or flight mode. Like, and I don't know what age that was. It might have been 12, might have been 13, whatever it was. The point is, we have to look and realize, and society is showing the fact that we are in fight or flight mode. Look at fertility rates. Look at these women out here developing fibroids, cysts, PCOS. They're sitting here issues with endometriosis. They're sitting here having to have hysterectomies earlier and earlier. And it's all because literally we don't know how to take care of our body. Our body's in fight or flight mode. And if you don't know, when you are in fight or flight mode, your body focuses on no longer allowing your systems to work properly. So it cuts off your digestive system. It cuts off your system far as what is it? Going to the bathroom. Basically your whole digestive system. So, that's a part of your digestive system. Digest the food, make you go to the bathroom. It cuts that off. And so when you look at that and you realize the fact that when you were in fight or flight mode, it slows down your digestive system. It cuts it off so it doesn't function as properly as it needs to. Why do you think all of these people are sitting here with all of these gut issues? IBS is running rampant in our society. I do not remember the statistic right now, but I know that it was up in like the 1.5 million or billion people are sitting here with some type of gut related issues, and it's getting worse in our society. And we have to realize that literally our mindset around what is healthy and what is supporting us is so thrown off. And you can see that because our fight or flight mode has been activated all of our lives. And that fight or flight mode is making you develop gut issues. And like I said, if your gut is off, your brain is off. And when you cannot have your brain functioning at the capacity that it needs to, all of your systems are going to be off. You're going to be anxious. You are going to be depressed. And you look at society and we're full of crazy people. And so, when are you going to make a shift and make a change? Thank you for all the follows, everyone in here. When are you going to make a shift for yourself? When are you going to realize that you deserve better? And if you are in the space and you're sitting here in this masterclass and you're like, I would love to change my relationship, reparent my habits, change my relationship with food, change my relationship towards myself, because I deserve to be showing myself love and care, and I deserve to be getting real whole food in between that, then this masterclass is going to support you in getting in that space. It is hosted on I said September, goodness gracious, on June 23rd. It's going to be hosted by me, and I'm going to be showing you and supporting you and understanding how to get into the mindset of taking care of yourself, and showing you the strategy of how I started to do it for myself, to shift yourself into going and eating real whole foods and establishing healthier habits for yourself. And all of the links are on my Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube bio. I post all of my lives on YouTube after I am done. So if you want to catch any of my past lives, you can catch my Purge the Poison series, which is showing you like common toxins that are in food and understanding the common toxins in our food and why they're so poisonous to our body. And then also my plant-based mastery playlist. I give you so much free content so that you can get yourself prepared to get into that space of being prepared to educate yourself and making a change for yourself. And if you need more of how do I do this? How do I get here? How do I get to the space of me being plant-based? How do I get to the space of being healthier? How do I get to the space of knowing how to take care of my body so that it can heal? Then you need to be in that masterclass. And it's oh, excuse me, it's only 111. It's you can buy it with Klarna Affirm Afterpay. And so there is no excuse for you to not be able to tap in and to buy this. And with all of my products and services as well, you can buy it with Klarna Affirm or Afterpay. And so you have to understand that if you're sitting here with those people that you believe that like, oh, healthy food just doesn't taste good, you can't, it can't taste that good and you're eating plant-based. I don't have time to be cooking all of this. I just don't have time to eat healthy. It's too expensive. And that is your mindset. Then you have to shift your mindset and you have to get out of that, because that is not true. You're believing in a false narrative and you need to release that false narrative. And nobody else can make your mindset shift when it comes to you sitting here thinking that you are not going to be able to afford this lifestyle, that healthy food is going to taste bad if you don't want it. If you don't want to change your lifestyle, if you don't want to change your mindset, nobody else can make you do that. You have to want it for yourself first. Because I wanted to be healthier. That's how I got started. I wanted to take care of myself. I wanted to not have to sit here and deal with doctor's visits and prescriptions and developing diseases and going and taking chemo because I developed cancer. Like, I did not want these things for myself. I wanted a transformation. I wanted healthier habits. I wanted a healthier lifestyle. So I did that for myself. I went and I got that for myself. I educated myself. And not saying I did it all by myself, because thank the Most High, He is the one who guided me and supported me through this process. Because like I said, like, I had nobody in my family that did this. I was alone. But He did support me and getting me the foundation to not only have the education that I needed, but kept me in this space, and kept me in this space by showing me how healing was possible, and showing me, and not only in my scripture, but also showing me physically, showing me that I no longer had to take the prescriptions because I was sitting there literally bent over in pain during my menstrual cycles. No longer have to sit here and do diet culture because I know how to support myself in releasing and resetting. I know how to do what I need to do with detoxing and cleansing without tinctures, without herbs, without sitting here taking all these supplements. No longer sitting here on the borderline of iron deficient because I'm sitting here getting all the iron that I need with plants. I'm sitting here taking care of myself with fruits and vegetables, the thing that He provided us to consume without having to go in to slaughter another animal and go to the grocery store and eat all these things that are inflammatory. Because you look, and that's what you see with the society. We're inflamed, we're sick, we're ill, we're diseased and wasting away. And that's in scripture about the fact that we are sitting here not following His commands and His word. And since we are not following His commands and His word, we're sitting here, and He said this, He gives us to the enemy, and that leaves us in inflammation, disease, and wasting away. And that's what we're doing as a society. We're inflamed, we're diseased, and we're wasting away. And it's time for us to get out of that space. And so for us to get out of that space, it looks like us embodying the positivity and the optimism. And if you want to learn how to motivate yourself to get into a healthy space, if you want to learn how to use stress management and do better stress management for yourself, if you want to improve your relationship with food, and you want to improve your relationship with yourself, because this is a self-love journey as well, then this will support you. Because you cannot say that you love and you care for yourself, but you're sitting there poisoning yourself every single day with what you're consuming. That's literally not possible. Like, who in the world could sit there and say that they love you and then also slowly put rat poison in your food? Because that's how drastic it is. Who can sit there and say that they love you but then slowly put capfuls of bleach in your drink? Because that's basically what you're doing. Like, you're slowly unaliving yourself because you're poisoning yourself every single day with the food habits that you have. And that's exactly what you're doing to yourself. You're telling yourself, I love you in the mirror. You're looking at yourself and saying, I love this body. I love myself. But then you're slowly poisoning yourself every single day. It makes no sense. And so we have to shift into our positivity, our positive actions, our positive mindset in order for us to be healthy and healing and get to the space of staying healthy and staying healing. But it starts with us shifting how we consume and the habits that we have. Because like I said earlier, these negative habits and this negative mindset that we have is keeping us from the lifestyle and goals that we want and we deserve. And so if you are ready to make an impact on yourself when it comes to your food choices, if you're ready to make an impact on yourself in improving your relationship with food, improving your mindset for yourself, because if you're sitting here with a negative mindset, you talk to yourself like crap. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. We all know what it's like to have a negative mind. We all know what it's like to be in a negative space. regardless if you can bring yourself out of it or not, you should not be in that space without being able to denounce the fact that you do not accept that negative talk. You do not accept that negative thinking. And since you're so positive, you can reinforce the positive thinking in that process and denounce anything that's negative. And if you cannot do that right now, if you can't look at me and tell me that you can do that for yourself, you need to be in that masterclass on 623, because it's really going to support you in getting in that space and feeling confident in doing it. And I have a freebie that's coming. So if you go ahead and book that, it does have a freebie that's coming with that. It is 111. You can get a Klarna Affirmer Afterpay. And so you being positive to yourself is giving self-care. It's giving yourself self-love, and that positivity reflects how you view yourself, because if you have a negative mindset, it shows how you view yourself, and that positive mindset also reflects on how you view yourself, and that positivity will allow you to shift easily into going plant-based, because you'll sit there and you'll realize the fact that, like, plant-based eating is not a negative thing. It's not a restriction thing. It's not a limited thing, but rather you'll sit there and realize that you care for yourself. You deserve better. And you now realize the health benefits of taking care of yourself. And it starts with you getting back to the basics and eating real whole foods. And so that looks like you going plant-based. You might not stick in that space, even though I suggest it, because I suggest it for everybody, because at the end of the day, there's no reason for you to go back to an inflammatory lifestyle. But if you are diseased, if you have any kind of illnesses going on, if you have painful menstrual cycles, whatever, anything going on inside of your body except for you being comfortable and happy, then you need to reset and release. And that starts with you learning how to and supporting your body in doing that. And so there are plenty of different ways for you to support your body without taking tinctures, without you taking supplements, without you sitting here having to go to the doctor and get a prescription, without doing diet culture. And that looks like you eating real whole foods and knowing how to support yourself with real whole foods and being able to enjoy the process. So you're not sitting here eating a salad and you're sitting here like, I don't want to eat a salad today, but knowing how to fill your plate up where you looking at this and you're like, wow, this looks really good. You sitting here and knowing how to make a steak from mushrooms because you've learned, because I've taught you, because you worked with me in a 6-week program. You've educated yourself. Maybe you found a recipe that you wanted to try out. Like, it all starts with you having the mindset to do these things, because so many people don't even realize that you literally can make every food that you love currently right now, if you're not plant-based, in a plant-based form. And it does not have to take long. There are so many quick meals that I do for myself. There are so many different preps that you can do to make it meal cook time easier for you. But it's about getting in that space and knowing how to do it, because it was trial and error for me in the beginning, and you're not going to get it overnight. But if you come and work with me, I will support you in getting in that space and educating you in that space so that you can shift and you can do it easily. So you're not sitting here like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I can't do this, and having all those negative thoughts come back, but rather seeing that it is possible and it can be easy, and you don't have to sit here and do endless hours of research. You don't have to sit here and go through all the trial and error and all these obstacles. There might be a few in between, but you'll have the strategy for you to stay on track and for you to stick with this, because I know plenty of people, and it's even statistically recorded, the fact that people will switch and they will say that they're going vegan or plant-based, and they'll do it for at least 3 to 6 months, and then by the 6 month mark, majority of them quit, and then by the year mark, majority of people quit by the year mark. And so you see that, and I see that statistic, and I see the fact that these people do not have the strategy to stay there. I see somebody who was struggling. I see somebody who did not have an accountability partner. I see somebody who didn't have support. I didn't have support in the beginning, but I saw how healthy I was and how much I shifted, and I didn't need meat anymore. And I even tried a piece of meat like 3 months into my journey, and it made me sick. And so, like, I just reiterated the fact that, like, I wanted to be healthier. But not everybody has the mental capacity because they're stressed out. Not everybody has the time to use that dedication. And not everybody has time to educate themselves heavily like I did. And so I'm taking all of the things that I know and all of the information that I have and putting it into these strategies and then supporting you with it. But it takes your action for you to get these strategies and support. It starts with you wanting better. better for yourself. And so since you want better for yourself, now you're tapping into these products and services that I have. Now you're tapping into working and booking a one-on-one with me. Like, it starts with you taking action, because I can't force you to do anything. I have plenty of free content for you to see, all the freebies of what you need to do, why you need to do it. But if you want that how strategy of how I did this for myself, how I supported myself, how I can support you, how this can work for you and do it easily, that's when you need to realize the fact that, like, okay, it's time for me to go and work with her. It's time for me to go and save up my next paycheck. It's time for me to do a Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay, or whatever. That is how you get into the space of having that education and having that guidance, basically, that coach that has been there and that has been through it and that has mastered it and now is ready to share with everybody. Because if you are just not joining, hi, I'm Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I have been in a plant-based lifestyle for 3.5 years, and I have supported myself in healing myself from asthma. I have released inflammation, so I'm no longer sitting here fighting being overweight and sitting here with weight fluctuation, but rather my weight has balanced and I feel better. I feel energetic. I don't drink coffee. I don't have to take anything, any supplements. I don't have to take any prescriptions. I used to have painful menstrual cycles. I'm still balancing my hormones, but when I tell you, like, I feel so much better, I'm able to flow and I'm able to take care of myself during that time. And I'm without any prescriptions or medications, without having to use supplements, but rather knowing how to take care of myself with fruits and vegetables, knowing how to support myself throughout the month so that when I get to that space, I know that, okay, I'm starting my cycle on Monday. So I know that I shouldn't be eating anything fried, inflammatory, anything that's going to make me flare up. Knowing how to support myself and not having to necessarily eat a raw vegan diet, because I'm not vegan, I'm plant-based, but not sit here and eat a raw diet every single day. Being able to cook delicious meals that I love, because I still eat and I eat good. Like, as you can see, like, I'm not sitting here little Miss Skinny Mini, but I have lost. I used to be 200 plus pounds, went down, could only go down about to 190s. And now here I am now, which I have not weighed myself since, but I did gain about 10 pounds. And I think it's because I've been doing weight training and a combination of things. And so now I'm doing a cleanse or whatever so that I can get back down to what I was. But I've been down as low as 163. I have not been down to 163 since I was in middle school. Like, I'm gonna be 100% keep it real clear with you. I have not touched 160 anything since middle school. I was in fifth grade 150 pounds. So it's like, you have to sit here and realize that this lifestyle will support you and whatever. And if you don't want to lose weight, don't sit here and think that you're gonna just automatically lose weight, because it's not an automatic thing unless you were just eating raw fruits all the time, because it's water based. So obviously you're gonna lose weight, but you have to realize the fact that, like, if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, or if you want to balance your weights to keep the weight fluctuation off, it starts with you understanding how to support your body and to release with the crap that you were consuming. Because like I said, like, I did not, like, when I say, like, I had not seen 160 anything since middle school. And once I saw that 160, I was in there looking. I don't step on the scale often. Like, that's the one thing why I didn't even realize I had gained 10 pounds. I stopped stepping on the scale when my mental clarity was so off, and that was before 2020. My mental health could not take stepping on the scale because of how imbalanced my health was. And so once I realized the fact that, like, wow, I'm supported and I'm not starving, it set me off. Like, it had me just keep going and keep going. And so yes, I have gained weight, but I'm also releasing and resetting now, because I have realized that, like, I don't know if it's muscle tone. I don't know if it's because I haven't been releasing and resetting like I needed to, because I have been eating a lot of, have been eating out a lot. Like, I can't say like I've been eating a lot in my vegan special, like, vegan spots. I've been eating at least like 2 to 3 times a week. And so I know that has an effect on it, but I've also been working more. I've been working out more. I've been running. I haven't, when I tell you, when I tell you, I used to hate running. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, you need to go run, you need to go do this. A simple walk is fine. I did not go walking today. I needed to, but it's fine. It's gotten really, really late. I'll probably go outside and jump rope, but I'm not one of those people. I have started running for fun now. And, like, I used to not even be able to run because of how bad my knee pain was. And so now here I am, literally sitting here able to run, have no knee pain. I'm literally doing all the squats. Now I can do squats endlessly now. I used to not even be able to do more than like 30 to 50 squats without my knee killing me. And I played like volleyball. I played softball. I played basketball at one point, and These are all requiring some kind of squatting or running. And like I was in pain, was wearing 2 knee braces at one point. Like I no longer wear a knee brace. I can run without a knee brace. I used to not be able to run without a knee brace without feeling like my knee was gonna pop out. Now I can run and I can sprint. I literally have been working on me sprinting for 5 minutes straight. I got up to three, but I'm trying to work up to sprinting for 5 minutes straight. So like you have to understand that releasing this dairy, releasing this crappy meats that they're selling us, releasing all of these things that are not supporting our body is going to support you in being healthy. It's going to get you back to the healthy state that you need. It starts with you making a change for yourself and shifting your health and wanting that change for yourself. And if you are in that space where you feel like your mindset is not where it needs to be, but you know that you want to be there, you know that you want to support yourself, you know that you deserve to be in a positive space going into this lifestyle, and you just don't have it yet, that masterclass on 623 will support you, as well as anybody else that is sitting in here and they're like, I'm so stressed out. I don't even know how in the world I could change my lifestyle. And on top of that, all the stress that I have going on, I don't even know how I would go about cooking myself a dinner. I don't know how about I would go with changing my lifestyle with all the stresses I have going on. That masterclass is going to support you. It's only on 111, and like I said, you can buy it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. And it's going to show you that these stressors is all from this negative mindset that you have, because any stress that you have can be dealt with. I know we're overworked. I know we're tired. I know society is malnourished, but any stressor that you have can be supported with you first getting into a positive mindset and then you supporting yourself with food, because you can't sit here and say you're going to do diet culture and go to fruits and vegetables and eat raw fruits and vegetables, do a fruit cleanse or whatever else for a week, and then expect yourself to have a positive mindset around it. And I'm speaking, look, I'm just going to be real transparent. I'm speaking from experience from today. I'm going to read your comment. At least said I stopped drinking dairy products. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. See, and it's not that difficult, but I'm speaking from an experience from somebody who is currently right now dealing with that issue of the fact that like, I'm spoiled, and we as a society is spoiled. I overconsume, I overeat, and I know that. And so since I know that I have been overeating and overconsuming, I knew that it was time for a release and reset. I was getting back to my old ways. And so my head has been negative for the past, I've been on this, since Tuesday? Today's Thursday. So yes, literally Tuesday I was cool. Tuesday all day I had forgotten that like I was really doing a cleanse. I did a 24-hour fast, no issues. Didn't even think about the fact that I didn't eat for 24 hours. And then the 24-hour mark hit and I was like, girl, you ain't ate nothing today. And like within 20 hours, I hadn't drank any water. So I really did a dry fast for 20 hours. And then after that, I ate something. Go to the next day, same thing. I fasted for a while, and then I had my snacks in between the day, and I ate that, and then I ate my dinner. I felt kind of off midday, and I kept like rechecking in with myself, like, why are you kind of having a negative connotation? Like, one minute I was sitting there and I was looking at myself, and I was like, I was like, you have gained a little bit of weight. And then I was like, why does that matter? And like, I'm sitting there checking myself and like go on about my business, going about my day, no more negative thoughts. And then I get in the bed, and like, last night my sleep was not where it needed to be. And so when I woke up today, I was like, have I been in a bad mood? Like I was just sitting there and I was like reassessing, doing a little mental inventory. And I started to realize the fact that like I had been in a bad mood yesterday. And like it wasn't even like one of those bad moods where I just felt crappy, but like it just kept trying to sneak in subconsciously and consciously, the fact that I wasn't consuming like I normally did. And since I wasn't consuming like I normally was, my body was throwing a little tantrum. And so here I am today, and like one minute my body was trying to be hungry at 12 o'clock. I went past it, I drank me some water, and I was cool. And that is like my go-to. If I know that I'm fasting, if I feel hungry, the first thing I'm going to do is drink water to make sure that I'm actually hungry. And majority of the time I'm not. And so I drank my water and I went on about my business, and then like started doing a mental inventory again to make sure that I wasn't in a negative space. And I haven't had any negative thoughts today. But they always say that second and third day, sometimes the fourth, depending on like how much you consume, it really can be taxing and take a toll on your body. And so me being mentally aware and having that clarity of realizing that and being in this space as long as I have, I just knew off bat what was happening. But somebody who has not been in this space, somebody who has not had this lifestyle, for them, that could be their norm. That they just don't even realize the fact that, like, that negative connotation is from a spoiled mindset and it's subconscious because your brain is always telling your body when you overconsume, you're hungry. Just like when you're always sitting there, you're like, I don't know why my stomach is growling, I'm hungry. That's a signal from your brain. If you let the growl go on a little bit longer and you, like I said, drink your water, it'll stop. And then it'll stop training your brain to be hungry at 10 o'clock. It'll stop training your brain to growl at 10 o'clock every single day. And so it took me educating myself and doing this experience to realize the fact that, like, that negative mindset is truly instilled in us because we are so spoiled. And it's okay to be spoiled because I've been spoiled all my life. But one thing we have to understand is that we have no boundaries when it comes to consumption and food. And we have to start setting boundaries for ourselves so that we can be healthy because we have no boundaries. And so now here we are and we have no stability. Here we are with a whole bunch of people who are anxious, depressed, inflamed on the inside, having PCOS issues, having fertility issues in men and women, sitting here dealing with gut issues, having IBS symptoms, sitting here dealing with all of these kidney diseases and liver diseases, blood diseases, like, oh, that is kidney disease, but having high blood pressure, sitting here dealing with heart disease. And we look at each other and we sit here and say that this is normal. It's normal for you to be on high blood pressure in your 30s and 40s. It's normal for you to develop cancer by the time that you're 35 and 40 now. It's normal for you to be sitting here having infertility issues at 40, even though 40 is not old and you should not be having infertility issues. These things are deemed as normal by our society because we are so used to poisoning ourselves. We are so used to being negative. And so, if you are ready to shift out of that negative space, if you are ready to release that negativity, because we are so honed in into it, and you can see because nobody can meet the goals that they want when it comes to their health because we're all believing in the facade. That masterclass on 623 is going to allow you to be released. Release that block. Release that mindset. Release this stress that you were putting on your body. Release that fight or flight mode that you were putting your body into. Because, ooh, excuse me, this is it's a combination. This is I think it has watermelon, beetroot, turmeric, and two other juices in it. So it's making me burp, y'all. I'm sorry. But you have to understand that, like, these habits are instilled and programmed into us, and if we want to change, it starts with us taking action. If you want change for yourself, it starts with you changing for yourself. Nobody else can make you change. Nobody else can make you want these things. It starts with, what do you want for yourself? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to do you want to stop taking supplements? Do you want to not be on prescriptions? Do you want to not lead yourself to cancer? Do you want to be sitting here feeling vibrant? Do you want to be in a space of feeling comfortable in your own skin? Do you want to feel vibrant? Do you want to look better? Maybe you don't like how you look right now, and you have to like yourself in order for you to show yourself love, because like I said, like, that negative mindset is all tailored on how you view yourself. But if you're not taking care of yourself, there is no way that you like yourself. There's no way to show yourself love. But rather, if you choose these healthy habits and choose healthier goals for yourself, you'll see the shift. You'll see the intentional shift in your lifestyle. But it starts with your mind. If your mind is not stable and it's not ready, nothing else will be. And so you have to shift your mindset first. You have to shift the way that you view what is food. You have to shift how you are sitting here stressing yourself out internally with the things that you're consuming, stressing yourself out with your subconscious and conscious mind, stressing yourself out more than what these jobs are already doing, more than these people's children are already doing, your children are already doing, more than these people that govern over us are doing. And realize the fact that if you want a change, it's about you taking action, and you have to take that action for yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else can make you, bully you, or anything else into you making a shift and a changing your health. But somebody sure can bully you quick into making an unhealthy decision. And we see that in relationships. We see that in our food habits. We see that, and it's not even a negative bully kind of way, honestly, because somebody can just tell you and be like, oh, it's so good, just try it, and you're on a diet. And you know you have no business eating it. And what do? You're like, well, it's just one. And then you go and you eat it. Well, it's just a little bit. I eat in moderation. I'm on a diet anyway. And you go and eat it knowing you have no business eating it. That's the same thing as them sitting there bullying you and telling you you're fat, you don't need to eat that. You're fat, you shouldn't eat that. That's healthy. Why would you eat that? That's crap. That's gross. I wouldn't eat that. That's greens. I don't eat greens. You drink green juice. You do that. What does fresh juice taste like? That's the same thing as them bullying you into eating crap, regardless of how nice they put it. You do realize that they're bullying you into being poisoning yourself. You're bullying yourself into poisoning yourself because you're like, oh, it's all I only eat it in moderation. Oh, it's okay. I'm on a diet. Why? When you have promised yourself for years now that you want to do better, why do you keep doing that when you keep telling yourself that, hey, I don't want to be led into diabetes. Hey, I'm insulin resistant already. I don't need to eat any more sugar. But somebody comes to you and tells you, well, just eat some of this pie. I made it. I made it. It's okay. It ain't going to kill you. Yes, it is. You see, it is. So why do you keep believing in them rather than the fact that trusting yourself and know that there are actual things that are healing because it's literal factual proof. There's literal proof in scripture, in science, and in society that this lifestyle will support you in healing and it will support you in bettering yourself. Rather, you're sitting there listening to all these people that are literally poisoning themselves and are sick, unhealthy, overweight. They're sitting here with all types of issues, taking prescriptions, and you're sitting there listening to them tell you it's okay. Because no person that's actually taking care of themselves and healing tells you that that lifestyle is okay. No person that actually knows how to support themselves in healing and supporting themselves and taking care of getting all the nutrients tells you that that consumption is okay. I would never sit there and tell you it's okay. I had a client that asked me today that was asking me to suggest them to some meat because their family was wondering why they went vegan and they didn't understand why they were vegan, and that the fact that they were nutrient deficient in a couple of things and how they needed eggs and meat. So she asked me what meat I suggested, and I told her for wholeheartedly, like, all of the facts that I have when it comes to eggs, they raise your cholesterol and they make you high, they make you develop high blood pressure, and the same thing with meat, it makes you inflamed, and inflammation literally feeds disease and toxins, which leads you to cancer and all the other diseases, because all diseases are fled by inflammation. And so they're led by inflammation. I think it's not fled, but led by inflammation. And so I told her, in good conscience and the lifestyle that I live, I cannot suggest to you any meat to consume, free range, organic, whatever. I cannot suggest that to you because I would not give it to myself. So why would I suggest to you the way to go? Like, and I was like, and if anybody in your life can influence you to sit there and consume that, they're not on the same health journey that you are, and you have to realize that you are on a health journey, and since you are on a health journey, you deserve to be supported with real whole foods, and you deserve to know how to take care of your body and not just believe because you're deficient in some nutrients that you have to go back to the way that is literally going to poison you. Because I was like, that's literally defeating the purpose, especially if you're already vegan. I'm like, go further into the lifestyle and understand how to go further into the lifestyle, understand how to support yourself further. And I'm like, you do realize the fact that, like, these people that are telling you this are the people that are unhealthy, that eat the eggs and eat the meat and everything else, and how many diseases they have. They're the main ones that want to comment on somebody being malnourished, but they're the ones that are filled with diseases. Like, make it make sense. Said I'm trying to see. Hold on, let me before I get into that. Yeah, so I have nothing else for today. Actually, that was it. That was the end of it. I got a little spiel, but that was the end of it. So I am at my point where I take questions. So if you have any questions, please drop them out down in the comment. I will start asking questions. Because yeah, I hit all the points that I needed to hit. Actually, I think I went a little above and beyond, but yeah, I got them. I'm looking at my notes for y'all are wondering. You said, hi, just joining. So what's your menu like, especially for dinner? My menu is variety, literally any fruit and vegetable. It's all variety. I try to eat a rainbow plate. So it's like whatever I can get and consume that I can make into, for instance, I love like remaking all of my favorite dishes into a plant-based dish. So I make, for instance, I've made, which hot dogs weren't even like my favorite food. I used to hate hot dogs, but I make carrot dogs now. I don't really eat any processed meats from the store. The only time I usually eat like a processed meat is if I am making homemade pizzas. I usually will get like I forgot what brand brand it is, but they have like these chorizo sausage links that I think the only thing that I don't like is that it has like sunflower oil or something in it. But I usually like, that's the only processed thing that I eat is like that, and anything that I eat that is processed does not have toxic chemicals in it. It has no terrible ingredients in it. But like for me, my favorite like go-to meals like is literally everything that you eat. It's nothing different than like any meat eater. It's just literally it has no meat in it. It has no dairy. But I can make pastas. I make cheese sauce. I make different types of various meats out of different proteins when it comes to like plant-based protein. So like I like mushrooms, I like chickpeas. I use a lot of like lentils, legumes, beans, things like that. It just really depends on like what you want, because everything can be made that you like in a plant-based form. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it. And I say this every live, and I'm gonna say this: you're not addicted and loving meat. You love seasoning. Like that's one thing that people do not understand: the fact that like meat has no seasoning. Meat does not have taste. You don't go and boil chicken and then eat the boiled chicken plain, because if you've been on any kind of diet culture and you thought that was a healthy diet, I've done it. Boiling chicken, just eating chicken is not good. Like you're sitting there and you don't like it. That's only you don't like it. You don't like it. And you know it doesn't like it. You're not sitting there loving the meat and addicted to the meat. You like seasoning. And so literally anything that you want to make is seasoning. It's all seasoning. And fruits and especially vegetables, because we know they don't taste like any much of anything. Majority of them are water. So all you have to do is season it. And I do, like for instance, when I make black bean burgers, you have to heavily season black beans because black beans don't really have a taste. And so like I love making black bean burgers. I made an amazing it was kind of an inspiration because I went to Vegas and it was so gross when I went to this restaurant, but it was a vegan spot and they had these sweet potato black bean tacos, and I thought it was gonna be delicious because the concept was there. It was gross. So I went home and I was like, I have to make this because I know there's a way to make it better. So I went home. The sweet potatoes, no issue. It was the black beans. I do not like unseasoned black beans, and they just didn't put any seasoning in it. I went home. I seasoned my black beans. It was so gross. I seasoned my black beans and I put it together, and I sprinkled some mushrooms in it, some air fried mushrooms. I had to share it with the world. Let me tell y'all, I had to share it with the world. I think I posted the video on here. Me and my best friend, I was at her house and I was like, listen, I have to show you this. I showed my niece, like literally, I showed everybody, and they were all like, I never thought, my niece was with me in Vegas. So she was like, it was good then? I was like, yeah, it was good. Cause I had her taste one of my tacos and she was like, that thing is gross. And I was like, I know. And so, I told my best friend and she was like, girl, I said, I don't know what they did. And when I was in Vegas, I said, but let me tell you, I said, I figured it out. I cracked the code. And so like literally, I mean, I can chef it up in the kitchen. I can't say that, but like literally anything that you like or you think about, because this lifestyle has literally made me so creative. And so like anything that you think of and you're just like, that sounds pretty good, maybe I should try it. You can make it plant-based. Like there is not one thing that I can think of that I'm like, I can't do that plant-based. I can't make it. I've made everything. I made steaks. I've made burgers. I've made different variations of chicken tenders. I make fries at home. Like literally, I can make everything. I've made everything. I just recently had vegan shrimp. I did not make that, but I did have vegan shrimp at a spot, and now I'm looking for the mushroom that I can make it out of because it literally tasted exactly like shrimp and it changed my life and it was absolutely delicious. And I loved seafood before I went to this lifestyle. I just made a fish sandwich the other day. It didn't hit as good as a fish sandwich, but it was my first time making it. I had never made a fish sandwich, period, regardless meat or not. So I have some critiques that I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna share the recipe. But literally, I've made so much. Like I can think of like so many different things. Like I literally one day came into the kitchen and was like, you know what, and threw this together. It was like a mozzarella like pasta. I threw some vegetables in it and threw some chickpeas or something in it, and it was the best pasta I had made in a long time, especially with the Rayo sauce, because I love Rayo sauce. They have ones that have dairy in them, so you have to be careful. I think they have one that has meat in it too, so you have to be careful. But Rayo's has a spicy marinara and a regular marinara, and I love those both. Those are my absolute favorites. But if anybody else has any questions, please drop them down in the comments before I hop off. I'm gonna be on here for like a couple more minutes. I said that I was gonna go on a walk today, but it's getting dark. I might just go outside and just jump rope or something, do some squats. I've been kind of busy today, I can't even lie. Time just got away from me. But it's okay. We've been working. We've been doing. And then my dog, she's been so needy. She comes back from the groomer and she's so needy. But if anybody has any questions about being plant based or living a healthy lifestyle, if you're just now joining, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant based lifestyle strategist, and I'm here to support you in understanding how toxic ingredients are inside our food and how we are toxic on the inside and how we can support ourselves in healing, and our body is a healing vessel. But it all starts with us realizing the fact that like we have to shift our habits and learn the fact that getting back to the basics is how you support your body in healing, and getting back to the basics is like you eating fruits and vegetables. This is how you allow yourself to heal and reset and allow your body to just feel good and look vibrant and feel vibrant, and just overall support yourself from staying away from diseases and illnesses and cancer, because our society is literally riddled with people with cancer. And for everybody that's in here, if you were not in here earlier, I am hosting a masterclass on 623 that is getting you into the mindset of understanding like how your mindset is affecting your actions, and the same thing how it's literally throwing you into fight or flight mode, because majority of us have been stuck in fight or flight mode and we're so stressed out because of the habits that we have. And those habits are mainly our food habits, because our food is literally giving us nourishment or it's not, and most of us are malnourished, and so we're stressed, we're anxious, we're depressed, and it's all because our mindset around food is not correct. Our mindset in general is not correct. We are negative beings, and our society is so negative, and then it tailors us to be negative, it programs us to be negative, and then we feed that and we keep that and we marinate on that, and then we pass it down to children, we pass it on to past generations. Well, I mean, we pass it down from past generations, and we keep it going, and we need to stop it. It's time for us to end it, but it starts with us taking the action for ourselves first. So any questions that you have, I'm gonna probably hop off here in 1 minute. If you don't have any questions, I'm not seeing anything. So I'm assuming I answered everything with this. And if you are just now joining and you missed the majority of the live or all of the live, I do post all of my lives on YouTube. You should go subscribe to me if you have not already. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to me so that you don't miss any videos. And if you have not followed me on any of my other social medias, please go follow me, just in case they do take TikTok down. I do not want to lose you guys. But I'm not seeing any questions, so I guess I'm going to hop off and try to convince myself to go do these jump ropes and stuff because I really don't want to, even though like I need to. It's probably because I've been doing this cleanse and I haven't really eaten today. I ate like a couple little snacks. I really need to eat something, which will obviously be fruit related because I'm doing a fruit cleanse. But I don't know what it'll be. I forgot to wash my strawberries and my blueberries, so my heart is hurt. But I do have a little bit of blueberries left. But I have plenty of watermelon that's in the works. But yeah, so I'm not seeing any questions. I hope you guys have a great, amazing rest of your night. And I hope that this was impactful. And I hope to see you on that masterclass. All of the links are on my Instagram, they're on my Facebook, and they're on my YouTube. So please tap into that. And like I said, I do have a special little freebie that is going to come for the people who are in that masterclass. That freebie is, you don't want to miss it. That's what I'm going to say. You don't want to miss it. So I hope that you have a great rest of your night and enjoy.